Welcome to another Rooster Talk, where we speak with ASX companies and get an update of what's been happening on our journey. We're here at the UWA Club here in Crawley on the campus of University of Western Australia. I've got Brad Valiukas here from Aurumin Limited here. The ASX code is AUN and their current market cap's around 14 million as we speak. So Aurumin has just recently announced a resource upgrade on their Sandstone project, and I've been really keen to get Brad here. Just give us a rundown, just break down the announcement. Brad, welcome to Rooster Talk.
Thank you.
Look, you know, the sort of numbers that we're talking about that you've announced is really from something that we talked about when you acquired the project. The upgrade. So let's talk about it.
We're really pleased with the results from the updated models. We've taken the aggregate inventory now for Sandstone up to 946,000 ounces. So we've only added 97,000 ounces, but in doing so, we've lifted the grade from 1.1 grams per tonne to 1.5 grams per tonne. So that's a massive difference overall. That number includes our Johnson Range deposit as well. Really big key to that has been the 2 Mile Hill underground resource, which previously had been published as 500,000 ounces at 1.1 grams per tonne. We've taken that to 574,000 ounces at 1.6 grams per tonne. So, potential margin revenue per tonne, the difference between 1.1 and 1.6 is huge. And it's 100% in line with the potential that we saw when we acquired the project. We looked at it and said that resource in particular had been underdone. There just wasn't enough data in it. I think I've said before, there's just about more papers written on that deposit than there is decent drill holes into it. So we've put 4 big long drill holes right into the guts, had some great results, sort of up to around 350 metres at 1.5 grams per tonne, drilling through all these stacked loads, thousands of new data points, and it's what we needed to do to basically get the model into a better position, which we've now done. At the same time, we've actually tightened it up, so it's a little bit tighter north and south in particular. So there's a bit of upside there remaining. We're at 1,400 ounces per vertical metre, which is really nice to be, and we're working through what we're going to do next with that deposit. We've got some internal scoping activity going on at the moment. We've always said we were looking for sort of 800 ounces per vertical metre at 2 grams plus. Obviously 1,400 ounces per vertical metre at 1.6 grams is a really good starting position. So we're just working through that at the moment and looking at how we'll tackle it next.
When we first spoke, obviously, as if you just mentioned, that the focus was that you need more data points, and you've done that. It's just quite a good lesson in how you look at this kind of project or this kind of company, because I put you, rightly or wrongly, as a producer to be, on the verge of, and it's interesting to see how you can upgrade that resource from there to now 1.6, 1.5. What's the next step up? Do you see, going to 2 grams, right? I'm just putting a theory in place. How much work is there or to get to that 2 grams do you see?
As I said before, internally we're doing a bit of scoping work on that at the moment. We certainly have some target metrics at 800 ounces per vertical metre at 2 grams plus, so you're talking 30 metre high stopes, 20 metres wide as an inventory. I think that should work pretty well, and we're at 1,400 ounces per vertical metre at 1.6, so we've got a base there to work on and optimise now, and I think we're getting pretty close. That'll drive our next steps a little bit. As I said, there's still a bit of life north and south, so we've actually tightened up the model. So we can look at whether we extend that, and then we look at whether we extend that from surface, and then, as I said, we've got an inferred resource at the moment. We've been really careful not to let the high grade do too much. If we were to drill that out to indicated, there's the option to do that from surface or to do that from underground. And preliminary costing would indicate we can probably do it just as cost effectively from underground. And then of course we've got a heap of capital in terms of access, etc., into the ground. So there's quite a lot to work through still for that 2 Mile Hill deposit. Like it's big to be looking there, and 574,000 ounces with only a little pit on top of it, 90,000 ounces in the open pit resource as well. There's quite a bit to work through just over the next couple of months.
I mean, I look at you guys there with the your Sandstone project and this tonalite, because I have conversation with your neighbours, and they have sort of said to me that that it'd be interesting to see if Brett can make that work, but that was prior to you going from 1.1 to 1.516 now, right? So I'm curious. That's why I asked the question. It's like, how much more work is required to go forward? Because so at some point in time, it's all about drilling, right? It's about how many holes you put into the ground, and if those long intercepts was good, but yep, go on.
Yeah, there's certainly more there to do, and we were super keen when we were drilling that out. It's not about the intercepts; it's about getting as much data as possible to properly inform the model and make the model better. In addition to the tonalite, it's not the only thing at Sandstone. So we often talk about the infrastructure, but there's the 2 open pit resources at 2 Mile Hill and Shillington. There's another 9 open pit resources already on the mining tenements there. We've got 11 geochem structural targets sitting on the mining leases that we need to get into surface drilling. We've got our 1140 tenement that we've got geochem coming through at the moment. There's some interesting stuff starting to sort of show up there. So there's plenty to do, and we've been down a 2-pronged approach. One is to generate more targets, so to bring along to more resources, to make the pie a bit bigger, and the others to bits of the pie that we already have to try and make them sweeter. So 2 Mile Hill, the underground, because of that existing resource focus, was a key focus to make sweeter, and we've done that. I think we'll pull back now and try and make the pie a little bit bigger, and we'll get into drilling on some of those other surface resources. And then even how we attack 2 Mile, it's not a standalone item. It's part of a mix. Like I said, we've got 946,000 ounces of resource currently, and 2 Mile represents 574 of that. But it's certainly not the only thing. So we've got to keep bringing both paths along at the same time.
Okay. Any spanners that would sort of put a dent in your progress that you could see?
I don't think so, Noel. We're still working down exactly the same plan we had at the start of this year, which is optimise existing resources and make it bigger at the same time. So we just keep working down both of those in parallel.
Yep.
And I think there's enough ounces there that it'll come across the line. It's just how far we take it until we press the go button.
And I guess, in some ways, what's the news flow going ahead from here?
On the exploration front at Sandstone, the first bit of news we'll have now after having done the model will be some of the geochem results starting to come through on 1140 and also on some of the periphery areas of the existing mining tenements as well. So that's just making the thing bigger and continuing to grow. And the next bit of news after that will be that we start drilling on some of these targets that we have, and then hopefully a consistent flow of assays and results coming in from that.
Okay. Look, Brett, I think I guess it's a conversation that's almost 12 months, or they're about 10 months or so from the time that you acquired the project, and I guess this is the step where you said, we need to do this to upgrade the, and I guess you may be halfway there. Brett, any last words to go? I mean, it's fitting end to the conversation, but any last words?
As we've always been, Noel, we're dead keen on progressing this project towards mining. So everything we do is about generating that critical mass and ensuring that we have appropriate margin so we can kick Sandstone back into back into development and back into production and be producing gold bars. So we're a good team to do that. That's our background. We'll continue to work through that process.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you. And look, we'll continue to follow what you guys are doing, but I think it's good news. Thank you.
Thank you.